Good morning, and we're doing a such talk after a very long break. But now we're back to it. We have the next three sessions also lined up. So this session was planned very last minute. Apologies for that, for marking your calendars like literally 2 days ago. But it's a very interesting session that we have lined up from our mafioso, Parvati Krishnan, founder of DAV Data Solutions, and she's got Indo Data Week lined up for next month. Remember, yeah, next month. And we're going to get a good insight into what Indo Data Week's all about and how mafiosos can get involved and what's in it for them. So over to you, Parvati, for the next 50 minutes.
Thank you so much, Anirudh. And like Anirudh said, sorry for the last minute. But I'm still very happy to be able to address all of you, and thanks to the Mafia for the opportunity to share it with all your core team members. So Indo Data Week is going to happen from November 16 to 22 in a virtual format, and it is organized by DAV. So I don't think to this audience, I have to explain anything at all about SDGs, but Indo Data Week is all about how we can use data science and artificial intelligence to accelerate the achievement of the SDGs. And when we talk about using data science and AI, we have to consider the technical aspects of it, the ethical aspects of it, the research, technology, entrepreneurship. So we have a lot of different themes that we have to consider when we talk about applying data and AI for SDGs. And through this event, we hope to create a platform to raise those discussions and to bring together key stakeholders who have been working in any of the SDGs or in data science and AI who wants to apply the technologies that they have developed for the social benefit, for financial inclusion, or for any of the topics which are relevant to SDGs. Now, I have a very small video to share with you from last year's Indo Data Week. I think this is a good start for the presentation. So I'm going to start the video.
It has been an excellent opportunity for us to interact with all great speakers who have flown from all over the world.
And it was very insightful, and I'm really grateful that my company and I have been invited to this event. And thank you so much to Indo Data Week for giving us this opportunity.
It creates a platform for converging the visionaries, the data scientists, the practitioners in the space of sustainable development and circular economy.
The people get together, do more work around sustainability, and specifically explore data science with respect to the SDGs 2030.
It's a great meeting, and it's addressing a very global unmet need for how to make our ecosystem sustainable, not just for this generation, but ensuring it's sustainable for generations to come.
all have seen many familiar faces. So first of all, I really want to thank a lot of mafiosos who have been part of the event last year, and they have actually helped me a lot in building this platform to make the right networking. So my sincere gratitude to all of them, and many of them are in the call as well. Sorry, I have to go to the next slide. Yeah. So 2020 is going to be a repeat of 2019 in the sense of the whole theme. So the theme is the same. We always want to keep this theme the same. So it's about emerging technologies, especially data science and AI, and how we can leverage these for sustainability and also resilient development. And we want to bring together visionaries, practitioners, decision makers, entrepreneurs, researchers for a 7-day knowledge sharing networking opportunity. And last year has been extremely successful. We are not an event which is very, which have like 1,000, 2,000 participants, but we have a very close-knit, smaller group of participants. But the outcomes that came out of last year was really wonderful and fulfilling. One or two examples that I could think of is there were 2 startups who came during the Indo Data Week, and they actually created a platform together. It will be announced during Indo Data Week 2020. Also, some of our speakers contributed to a book which is going to be published by Springer Nature. Hari, Deva, they are some of the authors, myself. So we actually were able to use this Indo Data Week to network and identify some very good contributors for this particular book, which is going to be published in Springer Nature, called Circular Economy and How We Can Use Data Science, AI for Circular Economy. So these are some of the key outcomes from Indo Data Week 2019, and from 2020, we hope to achieve the same. But this year, we actually have some additional stakeholders. So we try to bring in some governmental and public sector organizations such as United Nations Global Pulse. The government of Telangana's Emerging Technologies Wing have been a great partner for this year. We have Cisco Launchpad as one of our partners this year. And one of the biggest success for this year, I think, is our partnership with World Startup. So World Startup is an incubator, accelerator based in Netherlands, and they are one of our key partners for this year as well. So the event schedule is like this. So we have 2 days of pre-conference boot camps. So we have NLP, natural language processing, GIS boot camps. Why NLP and GIS in the context of SDGs is there are a lot of data scientists and analysts who are very good at analyzing structured data. So whether it is time series, whether it is historic data from sensors, but most of the SDG related data sets is unstructured. And there is a lot of relevance for using text-based analytics for SDGs. And at the same time, there is a lot of geospatial information data that has been made open source, where it is made available for startups. So how we can build knowledge and build expertise within the different stakeholders to analyze these kind of data is also very important in the context of SDGs. And this is why we have chosen NLP, natural language processing, and GIS as the 2 topics that we want to cover this year. And on 17th, we have a startup masterclass. I'll talk about it in the next slide. And 18th and 19th, we have a conference. You saw the video from last year from the conference, where we have curated panel discussions and keynote speakers who will talk about their experiences, what are the challenges and opportunities that they see in this field. They will also showcase use cases which they have implemented in their line of work or research, where it have been successful, or the challenges they faced while implementing it. And November 2021-22 is a 3-day hackathon for good. So Hackathon for Good is a global hackathon which happens every year in India. This year, they will partner with us to host the exact same Hackathon for Good in The Hague. So Hague is a city in Netherlands. So they usually host it there, but they are having multiple multi-city hackathons as part of the Hackathon for Good concept. And in India, we will be the first to host it. So that is also one good thing about this Indo-Data Week, is we can have similar events and we can do a plug and play model where we plug in these kind of awesome initiatives globally. So the boot camps, like I said, we have an NLP boot camp. It will be given by Dr. Ashton, data science manager at Deloitte US, and a PhD candidate from University of Minnesota. They have been really supportive of us even from last year. So they also gave a small online bootcamp last year. So they will talk about all the core concepts of NLP, sequence classification, generation, and also they talk about how to build an end-to-end NLP system. So they are not just talking about the concepts, but how you can apply to build a complete solution. We also have a startup masterclass, and this is for 1 day program, and it is going to be an interactive session, very hands-on for startups, for startup mentors, accelerator representatives. And we have 3 speakers. One is Pratap Raju. He is the founder of Climate Collective. He will be talking about how to communicate your startup's offering and value proposition. Then we have Jonathan Talbot. He's the Chief Communications Trainer from World Startup Netherlands. He will be talking about how your startups can leverage the networks in Netherlands or in Europe, and how you can, if you are interested to soft land in Europe, what are the opportunities. He will also talk about how to present to an international audience.
Not interested.
Hello? Questions?
Someone was unmuted.
Okay, no worries. So Jonathan will be talking about how to soft land in Europe, how to communicate your startup internationally, and how can you build networks that is going to help you with data mentoring based in Europe. And World Startup will also help the startups that are part of the masterclass in by providing them some advisory in the long term. So we can leverage our partnership with them to help these startups in case they have any specific questions. And then from Google Developer Relations, we have Siddhant Agarwal. He will be talking about how to build for the next billion users. This is, I think, especially relevant for digital technology related startups who wants to know more about cloud technologies, how to scale. And he is also one of our one of the speakers who have been really helping us get out there and market the whole Indo-Data Week. So these are the 2 boot camps that we have. We have the 2-day conference. I have picked very few speakers and just highlighted here. There are many more, and it is available in our website. We have delegates from United Nations Global Pulse. The head of the Pulse Lab Jakarta will be one of the speakers at a panel, but we also have another speaker from the same Pulse Lab who will be talking about climate change and biodiversity. So we have some delegation from the UN Global Pulse. We also have from Government of Telangana, we have Jayesh Ranjan sir, we have Rama Devi ma'am. They will also be talking in different panel discussions. Then we have Tanuja, we have Ganesh, of course. I mean, right from last year, he have helped me a lot in identifying the best speakers. Even last year, like Tanuja, I think Tanuja, Hari, Deva, all of these were actually suggested to me by Ganesh. So Ganesh have been very supportive of Indo-Data Week right from the beginning. We also have some delegation from Netherlands because I am based half of the year there. So I was able to get Bas Van Leeuwen. He's the director of business development at one of the best data science institutes in Netherlands. We have Thomas. He's a senior data scientist at Enexis Group. So Enexis is a electricity company in the Netherlands. They work on distribution systems, and he is one of the data scientists there, and he is going to be part of a panel discussion. We have a lot of startup founders like Bhavya, who is a founder and designer at Iroiro. We have from Keti, Kumar Neeraj. So we have like a mix of a lot of different stakeholders. So we have governmental organizations like World Bank, we have Kai, we have startups. Sahiti is also a startup co-founder. So we try to bring in a mix of a lot of different stakeholders. And the third one, actually, this is the one which is most closest to my heart, is the hackathon, of course. This is where we see young people in action. So the challenge, last year, it was an open challenge. So we told the students, whatever ideas that you have for data related applications and innovations, you are free to submit, and we will work on it for 3 days. But this year we have a very specific use case, because we thought that giving them the right data sets help them a lot, because otherwise the first few days, like the 2 days, they were spending it on just identifying the data sets. So here we decided to partner with Citamap, which is a startup based in Netherlands, and Ambi, of course, is familiar to SysMafia. And we decided to partner with them as data and mentoring partners. So they will provide data sets, mentorship for the participants. And the challenge owner is Government of Telangana. So they want to identify how soil data, biodiversity data, how agricultural productivity data can be used to identify ways to use soil as a natural climate solution. So this will be targeting at identifying potential innovations of using food security for achieving food security in the cities. So the data will be open only for the government of like for the administrative layer of Telangana. And the same solution can be scaled to other cities as and when is necessary. So this is the hackathon challenge that we have this year. And of course, none of this is possible without our wonderful sponsors and partners. So we have World Startup, Cisco Launchpad, another connection that I got through SysMafia. We have Climate Collective. These are our sponsors. We have partnerships for the goals. Like such as Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, Hieronymus Academy of Data Science, Mercy Innovation, Ambi, Citamap, Coin. So these are some of the other partnerships that we have for the Indo Data Week. And in case you have any questions after the meeting, like during the meeting, of course, we discuss now, but after the meeting, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have also added all the pages of Indo Data Week here, and anything that you want to know, we can discuss now. So thank you so much for this opportunity to give this small discussion on Indo Data Week. And I really, really hope that to get your feedback on what you think of the event, and also hear your thoughts on how you would like to collaborate for this initiative. Thank you so much.
You can open up the floor and you can run the Q&A or feedback session, however you'd like.
Yeah, so I think we'll just open for discussion for now and see if any of you have questions. And is that okay for you, Anirudh? Is that fine?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Questions, feedback?
Parvati, so I have a question. So I'm helping out on the hackathon, as you know, and I'm reaching out to my networks. The question which is coming from several folks in the network is, what are the prerequisites required for the candidates in the hackathon? I understand that the outcome which we desire is 5 to 6 good teams who can do a creditable job and take it ahead even past the hackathon. But in terms of prereqs, do they need to know data science? Do they need to be engineering background? Can they be startup? Can they be students? Are there any restrictions? If they already have their own companies, then so on and so forth. So I'm getting these from multiple people. And secondly, is it open to, it's open globally also, right? Like anybody who's interested in solving in our context?
Yes. So I'll answer the first part first. So the prerequisites are, of course, that they should be a part of a team where, let's say, there are some programmers, there should be some GIS experts, there should be somebody who is, let's say, good in business development. It could be somebody who is good in data science. Or somebody who is a domain expert. So we need domain experts as well in a team. So you can either register individually or as a group. So if you register individually, we have got, I think, around 50 registrations so far. Out of that, 15 of them registered individually. So let's say when you register individually, we look at their profile. We'll invite them for a one-to-one call. Actually, my students are actually one-to-one interviewing each and every applicant. So they will discuss with them their key capabilities. And when we put them in a team, we will try to find teams which are like wholes. I mean, they have different skill sets. So not one full team of data scientists, not one full team of GIS or one full team of business developers. So we try to fit like that. But if you register as a team, of course, we prefer if you have everything, not just data scientists. And I understand your question, Hari. We don't have it explicitly written in the website. I have given that feedback to the team, so they will be working on uploading the prerequisites in the website at the latest by tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds great, Parvati. So maybe you could make them as suggestions. I would also say that I'd be happy to help out balancing the teams if you feel that anyway.
But I think you will add the most value as a mentor so that you are available for all the teams, because of course you have experience in data science part as well as in the other part. So if you are available as a mentor and be available for all the teams, would that be good?
Yeah, it would be very happy for me, Parvati. So, all right, you have me sold. Thank you.
Okay. And the second question, it is open to international applicants also. We have so far 2 teams from Netherlands who have applied. So it is open globally, but the data sets that they are working on will be in the context of Telangana.
Awesome.
We should tie up with the Univ.ai team for their current student cohort and have them participate in the hackathon. I think it's ideal.
That's great. Yeah.
And, like our volunteer Anusha works at Univ.ai. So just connect with her directly and she'll put it through to the team. Because I think for them, it'll become a great use case for their current student cohort, that they're learning ML and data analysis, and they can apply it in your hackathon.
Okay.
So it'll get you a bunch of students to participate.
Okay.
Parvati, just on quick additional comment, which I think I would suggest when you put the prereqs on the hackathon website, just suggested to have, and not necessary to have, because it might filter off some very talented people who might say, oh, I don't know anything about GIS, and I don't know anybody else who knows anything about GIS, so I'm not going to participate. My suggestion is to keep it like a soft prereqs kind of thing. I mean, of course, it's up to you to decide how to gate.
No, it makes sense. So we want it to be open to innovators, business developers, because we feel like last year it was completely data science. So they don't have the experience of implementing projects, or they don't identify the challenges, but that is fine. They are very young. So, and one thing that we did last year is, after the hackathon is over, for the past 6 months, all the selected participants from last year's hackathon have been working closely with me for the past 6 months in partnership with United Nations Youth Collab. So I offered them an internship. So many of them didn't know a lot of data science implementation skills. So we trained them on that for the past 6 months. So the hackathon doesn't end after day 3. We will train them if in case one of the teams need some additional support.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. We have Jay Aswandi.
Hi, Jay. You had a question?
Jay, we can't hear you. Maybe we can come back to that when Jay's mic is working.
Other questions?
Yeah. I had a question, Parvati. I'm actually very glad to be partners with this event. Just want to know the duration would be 3 days for the hackathon.
Yeah.
So that will start from the first day. They will, I mean, the first day of the third day, right?
Yeah, the 20th.
And 20th, yeah. So the participants will submit an idea. Is there any sort of a shortlisting of the idea, or they have already? Because usually what happens is when they have submitted an idea, they have registered as individuals, or they have at least decided to work on one of the problem statements that is laid out. At that point of time, there will be some facilitation required from the mentor side in terms of forming a team, or even it could be mentoring in terms of sharpening the idea or the approach of problem solving, or they might need some additional data sets assistance, those kind of things. So what exactly happens on day one?
We will have, actually, even before the start of the event, we will invite all the hackathon participants sometime November 10th to have a session with us, so we can decide on the teams. And it is not necessary that they already have an idea of what to do. So on day one, we will have some sessions with them. World Startup will also be helping us in doing some ideation sessions. And of course, mentoring partners will be there, and they will be asking some, giving them some use cases or discussing what their ideas are. So that will happen, of course, on day one. But even before the hackathon starts or the whole event starts, November 10th, we will invite the participants for a 2-hour call with us, so we can discuss the teams, what are the things, what are the data sets that we will provide them. We can give them a small introduction to the different use cases, also give them a small introduction from the use case owner, so they understand their expectations and so on. So we'll have a session with the participants on November 10th. And after that, they will start working on their idea from November 20th.
Okay. Sounds great, Parvati. That's a good thing.
Thanks.
Yep.
Parvati, where can we as a community help? So beyond just having mafiosos be, your speakers or helping you organize the event, where can the Mafia community help you?
So I think the best place to collaborate would be for the hackathon, because you are domain experts, you have experience implementing projects. So if you could be mentors during the hackathon, I think that would add a lot of value for the student teams. Also, Hari is already there, Madhusudan is already there, but other aspects of how we can collaborate, it is for discussion as well, if you have any ideas.
So do you have a couple of areas nailed down of what kind of mentors you would be looking for? Which domain experts?
Yeah, we do have. So I have a small write-up about the whole challenge. I can share it with you, and you can of course share it with the rest of the Mafia members. And in that, it is clearly laid out what is the challenge, what is the data sets, what are the problem statements and use cases that we are looking for.
Yeah, please do that for sure. I think Jay is back now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my mic, there was something going on. Actually, my question was exactly what Anirudh was pointing at, is what is the problem statement? Because I think that would really help in figuring out who are the best people to bring on board, especially on the mentoring side, and working on, I mean, what is that problem that we are looking to face or asking them to solve? I think that would be if you can explain it very briefly, it'll really help.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen again. Is that all right? And yeah.
Is it the same thing that we shared once on the group? I think is it about soil degradation and stuff?
Yes, I had shared this in the group. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the short problem statement that we have, and the data sets that are available, and the background. I will make this into a one-pager and I will surely send it across. But this challenge have been developed jointly by Government of Telangana's Emerging Technologies Wing and Citamap. So Citamap is a startup which is based in Netherlands. And of course, Maddie's team from Ambi is also helping us refine the problem statement itself. So we want to look at some of these data sets like administrative lines, soil data, NDVI, biodiversity index, roads and railways, so the infrastructure itself of cities, land use, urban areas, soil data, forest cover, point of interest, and protected areas. So these are some of the data sets that we currently have curated for Telangana. And we want to identify factors of soil health and biodiversity loss. So how changes have happened over time, and to mostly manage and restore like soil health, but also think of this in the bigger context of food security in cities, and also maybe think about biodiversity, sorry, there was something, chat. Satsure, Pixel, yeah.
Yeah, I think these are just some of the right companies as well. Matt, I think Maddie already covers half your data set target areas with Ambi.
Yeah.
And Jay definitely covers.
Yeah, so one question I'm sorry I'm jumping in, but one of the things that I definitely would be interested in is this aspect of how are you taking care of the dynamics of this? Because the data that you have is from the past, and clearly we are looking for solutions towards the future. So are there any ways in which you are planning to give information on, say, things like future precipitation or future temperatures? Because all these will start playing a big role in the agricultural productivity going forward, and then the choice of crop in each of these places. So, I mean, clearly I'm not the domain expert here, but this is some part that will have to be incorporated also, right?
Of course, yeah. So forecasting and suggesting like what is the crop to be grown, and this is actually a huge project currently at Government of Telangana. I just had a call 2 days back with the UNDP team in Telangana, and they were telling me exactly what you mentioned. So they want to have a recommendation system for the farmers where they want to say, okay, this particular season, this is the crop. Because what is happening is in a complete area, everybody is growing the same crops, and whenever something happens, all are equally affected, and then the market is also not responding well to that kind of environment where everybody grows the same crops. It's understandable. So the government wants to have better diversity. They want to suggest solutions for soil health, how this can support carbon sequestration. So these are all like a big goal of the Government of Telangana in general. But for this particular hackathon, we are providing like a data set mostly in these areas because we don't want to make it too general. We wanted to go a little bit specific challenge, because last year we saw when it is too general, getting a solution in 3 days was a bit difficult. So we try to make it a bit more specific, but at the same time, we are giving some near real-time data like satellite imagery. So we are also discussing with some other counterparts, but that's not finalized. So I don't want to say their names right now, but we are also trying to bring them in as partners who could provide access to some high-quality satellite imagery data as well, which could also help, especially in the infrastructure, biodiversity changes part. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, I agree. It's actually a very complicated issue. So I just wondering how you're going to tackle that aspect, because clearly, if you explicitly say, look here, we are not going to be touching that, then that's also fine. There's no harm in that. But as long as you're explicitly saying that, so that people know that this is not part of the quote unquote curriculum, because what I will try to do is I have some colleagues who are actually working on some of this stuff, and they're going to be putting out a report, but I don't know if they're going to be putting out the report for Andhra and Telangana. I know it's coming out for Karnataka, where they are looking at basically they have taken the COREX models that that estimate what the precipitation will be over the next 20 years and look at it. So maybe what can be done, maybe a pseudo, like you create a pseudo data set, which is sort of saying that this is an expectation of what is likely to happen, and create 3 scenarios. right, of precipitation being same, higher, much higher, those kinds of things, or temperature. And that could be enough. So the point, I think, at the end of the day is, if students get a sense that, look here, these are also important factors to be taken care of, while what we are doing is taking a dummy data set right now, tomorrow, if they were to develop it further, it has to be taking into account some of those data sets or those models, because after all, they're just models. No one is saying that is accuracy, but the point is that you also want to think about this issue of resiliency, right? And we are always talking about climate resilient agriculture, and how that is going to play a role, how data is going to play a role in bringing about that resiliency. And so then the diversity that you were talking about, different farmers taking up different types of crops, bringing in resiliency through diversity. So these are all, of course, they are very complex on the ground, but at least conceptually, if they are relatively clean, it can be taken into account. And I think a lot of it is about learning, right? It's about learning what are the aspects associated with that. So if people are just aware that they exist, it's not so much about knowing it in detail, but knowing that the existence of these things, then that would be a very useful perspective for these things. So just drop me an email. I will post my email address here, because then I will put you in touch with the right person who will be working on this, and will give you some insights on this and how to go about it. I mean, I'm not even saying that what I said is the right way. I would rather the experts say, this is the way it should be done. And, there are different workarounds. So it's not an issue. It's just that knowing that this exists is good enough sometimes.
No, this sounds great. Yeah, this is a very important point, which I think we didn't consider so far in the challenges, how we can fit in these kind of forecasting models of precipitation, or maybe the climate models that we currently have, and how that can fit into the whole hackathon. So I think that's a very interesting point, and I have noted down your email. So I will definitely reach out to you, and I'll be happy to discuss this with the experts that you point me to. So thank you so much for that.
Parvati, can I ask a question? So,
yeah.
So when I'm looking at the challenge, there's no explicit mention of a business model or a social enterprise approach or something like this. But I'm assuming, or maybe I shouldn't assume, are you looking for, how do you plan on the scaling path for the solution? Is it something which governments will implement, or is it something which you expect private enterprise to take forward, or is it still open at this point?
No, definitely, like you said, it's not explicit in the website. So we will work on that because that is an important consideration. And definitely we will help. We will definitely help them in implementing this. So we will work together with Government of Telangana. We have Dr. Bhupesh. He's the Director of Food and Agriculture. Hari, you are moderating a panel discussion also with him. He's the Director of Food and Agriculture at Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. So I think his team will also help a lot in implementing the solutions that the students have. They will provide with the right data set, because the government have a lot of hyperlocal data sets that we can use for this. And they will also help in implementing. And our partnerships with World Startup and others as well can help in scaling these solutions.
Okay, great, Parvati. One more question, if you wouldn't mind. So,
yeah. Just one thing I want to mention, Hari, before that, because Anirudh, you talked about UNDP Accelerator Lab, right? So I already had a call with Shweta Kolluri. She's the head of experimentation there. So I already talked to them day before yesterday. So thank you for that. And they might, if they also decide to partner, why I mentioned here is, Hari, they will also help us, help the students in implementing these solutions, because for them also this use case is very relevant.
Sorry, where is Shweta from again?
From UNDP Accelerator Lab.
Oh, I see. Very good. So just a question, and I'm sorry I'm hogging all the questions again, but so for me, this is kind of, so for me, this is kind of, it's a hybrid of educational and exploration and invention. And for me personally, like collaterals are pretty important, because I think from an exercise like this, what can we learn and put in the public domain so that other people can build on it? So are we planning to do something like some written collaterals like blog posts or a little report on it? And I would be happy to contribute if that was the case, because I had a great time actually documenting for our World Bank thing as well, right? So I was just wondering if we're going to be writing up the stories of any of these solutions or the potential for applicability, so on and so forth, to build the awareness in society that such solutions exist using data science, right?
Yeah, so you are talking about Hack for Resilience, which is another event which we did some months back. I don't remember exactly when now, but yeah, some months back. So it was jointly also with World Startup. World Bank was also a stakeholder. And one of the requirements at the end of the hackathon is a written blog, which we publish in Medium. And we also asked them for a presentation. So we actually, that one I really liked. So we are implementing it in Indo Data Week as well. So the deliverables from each team is a video presentation. So they need to submit a video, they need to submit a PowerPoint, and they need to submit a written blog. So these are the 3 deliverables that we expect from them. And the blog need not be the final blog, because of course we want to give them feedback so they can improve. And this cannot happen in 3 days, but the first draft of the blog have to be submitted before the deadline, before the event is done. So that they document the whole story. The blog is not going to be a technical blog, but rather what are the techniques that they have used, what are the data sets that they have explored, what have they learned from the whole experience. Like you mentioned, Hari, this is not something which is set in stone. This is an experimentation. We are also learning with them. What comes out of it is nothing that we know for sure. So I think that's the whole concept of hackathons. We never know what is going to happen. And this is very open. So in cases to a team needs more support or more help, we will be creating that platform. But to be very honest and fair, I also do not know what is going to happen after the hackathon or during the hackathon. It all depends on the teams and what comes out of it and what they decided to do with this data.
Absolutely. So I would just say that at a minimum, we should have these outputs in place.
Yeah.
And I would be happy to help write the story of the hackathon so that that remains as a record that, we did some good work, we experimented with these ideas. And it's interesting for me also to write about these things because it's from direct experience, right, of solving problems together. So just thought I'd put it out there because it's a fun thing to do. And,
No, but our website for hackathon is not complete. I mentioned this many times. So like you said, I have written down the points that most of you raised. So I am going to work on the website with the team today, and we will hope to have a better version tomorrow. But this is the current website. If any of you have any questions, you can still look at it. I have put the website here. And if you want to see, so last year also we had very good sessions. So if you want to see last year's session, you can also go here and see the recordings. Most of the recordings are here. So you can also look at that. Any other questions from anybody or suggestions, feedback?
If nobody asks, I'll just ask one more. So last year we had the Springer, the book as the outcome, right? As one of the outcomes. This year, do we have any research writing as one of the collaboration outcomes with this new mix of people?
So last year we didn't aim it to be an outcome. So it just happened organically. But to be honest, this year, right, we have at least one panel or one top keynote related to each of the 17 SDGs. So actually I have an vague idea in my mind to write a book on applied data science and AI for SDGs and have 17 chapters each dedicated to one of the SDGs. But I really have not spend a lot of time thinking about it yet. But yeah, if you would like to discuss this, we can of course take it offline and discuss. But I really liked the outcome from Springer Nature, but Lervin was already writing that book. But during the event, she found so many interesting use cases that she wanted to include in the book, and it happened organically. So this year, I do not have any plans for it yet, but definitely this is something we can discuss.
Okay, so let's just keep that on the table then. That if something emerges, like let's do creative collaboration.
Yes, we can also get help from Lervin. Yeah, because she's also a speaker this year, and she would love to help us in that.
Is there any outcome or incentive, either one of the two, that can be provided by the community? So, for example, like potentially, if it creates a pipeline for interns from your hackathon into Mafia companies, that's something that could be pitched to the community members, which is actually a very big value add. The second one is any learnings that come out of your hackathon, if it's relevant to any of the Mafia members, that itself is also very high value proposition.
Oh yeah, that will be great. So the hackathon, we have one incentive is of course the prize money, which I hear that is very important for hackathons these days. We have a prize money, plus these kind of internship opportunities is great for the long-term development of the students. So that would be great as well. But Anirudh, do you think I can maybe make an invitation to all the, not just the mafiosos, but the members to be part of the final presentations of the hackathon participants? So it's an open presentation. So
you can give a shout out for sure, like on our email list. So typically, like the promotion is something that I really like to keep out of the agenda of any event or any particular person. But if it's going to serve that common good and just move the cause forward, I think it's very important to even use our email list. So we have a very targeted email list of like 750, 800 people. I can give a shout out on that if you share some material with me.
Yeah, no, like I said, I also don't want to use this as promotion, but rather a collaborative thing where they can see what the students have developed. So not before or during the hackathon, but once the hackathon is over, whatever deliverables the students have, I would really like to get that across to the team members so they know what have been done, what are the learnings. Like Hari said, the blogs that we write from each of the teams, the presentations, if that can be shared with the members, they also know if there is something interesting for them to collaborate on. Yeah. So if you can share that, it would be great.
100%. So if you give me that mailer, right, and I can recraft it with the wording.
Yeah.
That if you're a student, you'll find this valuable. If you're a professional, you'll find this valuable. If you're a entrepreneur, you'll find this valuable.
Yeah.
That'll be super helpful.
That's great. Okay, that I will definitely do after the hackathon is done. We'll send this across. So all the everybody is aware like what happened and what are the solutions that came out.
Done.
Parvati, one thing for me as well is we have a call later on in the day. I thought I'll ask then, but just putting it out here is the winning criteria. Against which we mentor the teens, something that I'm still a little bit unclear about, and it'd be great to know what kind of sort of things that it qualifies. Is it, sometimes in a hackathon, it's the way the problem is solved and is being solved sometimes, and even if it's a MVP they build in the end, or in some cases, in case of a data science hackathons like this, it's the model. It may not be very specific to an accuracy percentage, or you're trying to beat some other's accuracy, or you feature engineered something differently. Things like that. It may not be the case. It could probably be on a something on the longer term. You feel like this could be converted into a good business model. I mean, that could be a criteria, or it could be something that someone like the Telangana government would like to pick it up and help this startup grow. Some of those kind of things. So I'm just thinking, what could those criteria be? And the second part is, a good point that Anirudh mentioned about is internship. I had mentioned about this to you as well. We are very keen to see if we could find any mentors and interns in the hackathon, and we'd like to not just interns, even somebody who's graduated already. We're conducting a lot of research around the clock in this area. So we could have somebody joining as a research along with their pursuing on their PhD would be great. We'd like to even sponsor a stipend and make it a part of our research. We could sponsor monitors, patients, all these kind of things, and that will help in their work. So those are two things that I think would help.
Yeah. So the first question, right? The winning criteria. I think this is something we should definitely discuss with the stakeholders. So today we have the call with the Emerging Technologies Wing. So we will discuss with them their expectations. We never had a joint call with them so far. So we will discuss this during the call for sure. And for me, I don't think the whole problem can be anyway solved in 3 days, but the idea that they have the directions that they are taking and the approach that they have might be, it should be weighed. And since this is a data science exercise, like you said, having an MVP or even having a baseline model should of course be given more value. But the exact criteria or the metrics, I think we should discuss with the government of Telangana during our call at 2 o'clock today. And once they have given their feedback, we as a team can discuss and decide what should be the criteria. Answer your question?
Yes, got it. Okay, Parvati, I'm looking forward for that call. Thanks.
And about internships and providing the students access, I think we can definitely do that. But even before the hackathon announcing that, it is a bit tricky because we do not know what is the let's say the team's going to come up with, what are their backgrounds, whether it is actually a right fit for your organization. We cannot say that in advance. So what I would suggest is once during the hackathon and also after the hackathon, whatever collaterals we get from them, we also see them in action during the hackathon. We can, of course, because you will be part of the whole hackathon, you could say that, okay, this person is interesting, we would like to discuss with them an internship, or during the hackathon, we can give this as an opportunity for the students rather than telling them even before they apply. So we will definitely keep this in mind during the hackathon, and we can see if there is any right fit to organizations.
Makes sense, Parvati. Thanks. That works.
Yeah, Radhika, thank you. Radhika is also going to speak. Yesterday we had a discussion. So I thank you so much, Radhika, for agreeing to be a speaker. I really look forward to connecting with you later. Any other questions?
I think that's about it on time too. Unless somebody has an urgent question, we can end it here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Anirudh. Last minute, but you still gave me the platform, and I'm very, very happy to have this discussion.